Greetings, mortals. My name is Corel Shuffle Gunathorpia Sharp. But today you can call me the actual God of Chaos, because today we're doing something new. We're doing Total War Warhammer 2. And why will I be the actual God of Chaos? Well, you'll find out later. But for now, for those of you who don't know, this is a strategy game that involves leading an empire of some sort into battle against other factions to generally try and get close to world domination. But you know, if you play like Eye of the Vortex, you'll like have special objectives. It's shorter, other such stuff. But no, we're not doing that. We're doing Mortal Empires. You'll also notice, for those of you who may actually be familiar with the game, I have most of the DLC with one exception. You'll notice here at the end, downloadable content +2. I don't have the Silence and the Fury DLC, which is the newest one. It was unfortunate because I would have liked to play Torox. Yes, my name for today is Actual God of Chaos. Speaking of which, give me a second. I just realized I need to fix something on my end. Oh, I thought I'd fix this, but I guess I hadn't. Let's see. There we are. Alright. I'm sorry. Is Actual God of Chaos a bit too long for you? Would you rather call me Corel Shuffle Gunathorpia Sharp? Is that better, Eden? But yes, anyway, first things first, we need to decide who I'm going to play as. And to get this out of the way, I'm not going to play Warriors of Chaos faction. Not happening. One, because the gods of chaos that they supposedly worship are insults to actual gods of chaos who know that wanton destruction is not the only aspect of chaos. And two, their campaign is actually not that interesting. Now, there are a number of factions that could be interesting to play as, but I think, as ironic as it may be, I'm going to play the Wood Elves. Because one thing I did like a lot,
the sanctity of life,
was the Sisters of Twilight.
Of bloodshed.
Alright, so little tap on these guys, these girls I should say, before we start. Wood Elves, their race attributes. Forest healing. You heal the world's forests in return for powerful faction-wide bonuses. Now this doesn't mean forests in general, this means very specific forests that are inherently magical in nature. Then the world roots and the deep roots. Wood Elf armies can use the network of ancient tree roots to avoid impassable terrain and travel vast distances between forests. Again, we're talking about the big magic-y forest that you'll see later. And then finally, the Wood Elves are a missile-focused elven unit roster with a variety of enchanted arrows and fast-moving cavalry. I don't know what you're talking about, Eden. Now, specifically the Sisters of Twilight are part of the Heralds of Ariel faction, sub-faction, I should say. Ariel being the queen of the Wood Elves. Her husband is Orion over here. He's really big into hunting. She's more into magic and looking like a butterfly lady. Anyway, the specific faction effects for the Heralds of Ariel include the Forge of Daith, where you can craft and upgrade unique weapons, armor, and items offered by the Master Smith, Lord Daith himself. All armies in the Heralds of Ariel faction have 10% more ammunition, so they can shoot more. And all Hawk Rider units, which you can see we have one right here, a flying missile cavalry, have a unique ability called the Volley of Kurnus, which is really good, and I'll be sure to show you that. Now, as far as Lord effects, these are effects that specifically apply to the army led by the Sisters of Twilight. 50% less upkeep for missile units, so they can afford to field these without incurring as many costs. Flying units have 10 more melee attack, and 15% added to their charge bonus. They also additionally start, along with basic units, they start with a Great Eagle, a set of Hawk Riders as mentioned before, and the Great Stag Knights. We're going to be playing this normal difficulty. we're going to keep the Chaos Invasion on, just on normal, just to keep things simple. And with that, we're going to start. Now, the life-giving Oak of Ages has seeded many forests across the world, but now its outstretched world roots wither under the strain of destructive forces. As Ariel, the Queen in the Woods, hibernates within the oak, the Sisters of Twilight stride forth to heal the world's forests and bring balance to the web of life and death that binds all living things together. For the fate of the Weave is not just tied to the fate of Athel Loren, but to the fate of the entire world. So yeah, I'm going to save the world by shooting people, which is the best way to save the world, as Eden can attest to. Now we wait and enjoy the background art we have here that shows the Wood Elves with their various units all looking at this fancy stone. This is probably one of the Waystones. No, that's a lie. You do both. No, you do both and you know it.
Greetings, Sisters of Twilight, most esteemed emissaries of Queen Ariel. You are deep in the hostile lands of the Druki.
Dark Elves.
The forest of the Witchwood provides you with sanctuary in this bleak realm. The weave here is dangerously out of balance, as is the case in many other forests of the world. Bring life back to these withering woodlands, then traverse the deep roots to seek out others who require healing in more distant lands. Every healed forest brings strength to Athel Loren and the world roots that reach out from the Oak of Ages. Thus, you must ensure the mighty oak not only endures, but flourishes, so that it may continue to send its life force to the forests of the world. Oversee this new season of rebirth, twin champions of the Azrae. The lesser races pollute, defile, and wantonly take from the forests, causing an imbalance to the weave that must be righted. Punish them in Ariel's name, and return the forests to full splendor.
Understood. Alright, so over here we have how they play, so this gives you a little bit more in-depth information on the action that we're playing as. So, Forge of Daith, the Sisters of Twilight have access to unique items and armaments crafted in the Forge Daith. Forge Daith, most celebrated of elven smiths, uses his legendary smithing skills to forge and upgrade special equipment for them as favors in return for their successes in battle. Daith can indulge Nyestra's obsession with perfectly honing her equipment by permanently upgrading them for her, or accept Arahan's ardent insistence to carry powerfully reforged equipment into battle, albeit with temporary effects. The World Roots and Magical Forests. The Oak of Ages life-giving World Roots have seeded a number of magical forests across the world, including the Witchwood that we have right here. But over time, interlopers and neglect have caused them to wither. By performing various actions such as securing the heathland regions that border them, such as Ice Rock Gorge, Hag Hall, Ball's Anvil, the Temple of Adioth, and the Plain of Spiders, so basically all the ones that have green names in addition to the Witchwood. The Wood Elves can increase the health of magical forests and perform rituals of rebirth there, thus permanently restoring their connection to the World Roots. All Wood Elf armies can use the World Root stance to travel short distances between otherwise impassable terrain. Doing so is not without risk, however, as they can be intercepted in armies above and brought to battle even by races that cannot use the World Roots themselves. The Deep Roots. Deep Roots connect all magical forests of the world, allowing the Wood Elves to instantaneously travel between different continents with ease. It can be accessed from within any magical forest region, regardless of ownership, but once an army traverses them, it will be some time before another journey can be made. And then, Oak of Ages. All world roots lead back to the Oak of Ages. By securing Athel Loren's borders and healing other magical forests, the Wood Elves can rejuvenate the world roots' life-giving powers. The ultimate goal of the Wood Elves' Mortal Empires campaign is to complete the ritual rebirth in Athel Loren and defend the Oak. And then finally, there are offices, so there's benefits that you can give to lords by putting them in certain positions, as shown here. Won't get into them right now, but as you can see, in addition to the Heralds of Isha, which is automatically taken by these guys, you can see that there's six other positions. Yes and no, Eden. The wood is more of an alternate dimension. This is more that they can just sort of use. There's like the world roots are physical roots that go all the way to here, where we have the Oak of Ages, which is the tree from which the world roots sprout. So they can basically use them as more like I guess you could sort of say they're like they're more like the lines, if that makes more sense. They're more like the lines than the wood in this case, in terms of how they function, at least in this game. I'm just gonna quickly just. Determines what alerts I can get. I'm just going to. No, I'll keep that one, but I'm gonna get rid of most of these so that they're not bothering me. And before we get into anything else, I'm going to move our Spellsinger of Beasts, who is a mage, obviously. Put her in the main army.
Grant me gifts.
And we can see here that we have our army. We have some beastmen up here that we'll deal with in time. But first, we have a Dark Elf settlement that's right next to us, and obviously the game wants me to take it, so I will take it. So, we have, actually, okay, so we can see that I have 9 units against 5, but I'll get more into detail on what my units are by going into the battle. Let's see, do we have anything? Okay. Vigor. Soldiers tire as they run and fight, meaning that they cannot engage in combat as effectively. The vigor level of a unit is shown on its tooltip. Basically, units get tired over time, and that affects their ability to fight effectively. That's about it for that. Just, they have loading tests. Might as well read them while we wait for it to load, you know? Alright, so. Looking at our army, first things first, we have the ability to gamble to try and increase how much winds of magic we have access to at the beginning, which would affect how much magic we can cast, but I'm going to just start deployment because 19's a pretty high number to start with. We have the Sisters of... Yes, thank you, Nesra and Arahan. We have the Sisters of the Twilight, who are riding on a Great Eagle. And they're obviously, they have missiles, because they both use bows, and we can switch between the Talon of Dawn, which is good against single targets. It sunders armor, thus reducing it, and is a single shot. Or we have the Talon of Dusk, which does bonus against infantry, poisons, and fires multiple shots that scatters, so much better against infantry. Also very fast, 110 is a very high speed, and overall just a really good unit. Then we have the Spellsinger, who has one spell to start with, Wissen's Wild Form, which will increase the armor-piercing weapon damage, and base weapon damage of a unit that she uses the spell on. Then we have 2 Eternal Guard with shields. These boys right here. Looking pretty good. I like the color scheme. And they're just basically there to hold the line with Spear and Shield, which are notably silver shields, which means they block 55% of all small arms fire, so non-artillery fire that comes towards them. If they were bronze shields, which would be basically smaller shields, they would only block 30%. Then we have 2 Glade Guard, one of which has the Starfire Shafts. These are the most basic archer units that the Wood Elves have. The Starfire Shots notably do fire damage, as you can see here. But otherwise, they're just there to basically be behind the shields and shoot at anything that gets in the way. Then we get into the more interesting ones. First,
Armed and ready.
the Great Stag Knights, monstrous shock cavalry. Very big, very powerful, hits very hard, and has good armor piercing. Let's see. Yep, they have a lot of armor piercing. They also come with bronze shields. They can take away some weapons fire that comes towards them. And basically, you just run these into the archers and back lines of your enemy, maybe try and trample some of the more heavily armored units because they have higher armor piercing, and basically just trying to run everything over. Then, Hawk Riders. They fly because they're obviously on great eagles like the twins are. They fly around, they shoot people, they can charge into battle if need be, and because we're part of the Heralds of Ariel, they also have an ability called the Volley of Kurnus, which does a lot of good damage and is effective at long range. It's a very powerful ability, as we'll soon see. And then finally, we have a single Great Eagle, which is just a really fast and powerful unit. It's not one of the most powerful units of this kind. It doesn't compare to like a dragon, say, but it does a really good job of being able to strike from any angle during a fight, and thus is very useful in its own way. Now, start with going to reposition the army. I'm going to spread out the Eternal Guard like this, and then put the Glade Guard immediately a little bit behind them. Let anything that starts approaching will get shot on the approach. You can see on the Great Stag Knights and the Hawk Riders, we have a little symbol above them, which indicates that they can actually be put outside of this yellow zone that is where they can start. So we can put them like out here if we wanted to. But I have no particular need to do that. I'm going to just keep them by the main army so that once battle is joined, if they get into close combat, I can just have them ride around and hit them from the back. Now the Hawk Riders, because of the Volley of Kurnus, I'm going to move them over here so that I can immediately use that ability and then just have them retreat back to the main forces. Then we have the Great Eagle here. I'm going to put these two up right here. And then I'm going to put the Spell Singer in the back to use her spell to augment our troops as needed. Now, as we start the battle, we can see where the enemy forces are. I'm going to just immediately try and deal with those archers by using the Volley of Kurnus right on top of them. So, as we observe, the Volley of Kurnus hits. And as we can see, it did a good amount of damage. And you can see that one of the units is actually flashing, which means that their morale went down severely because of that. I also need to switch this, because I forgot, they're already in range of the sisters, so I need to make sure that they're on the anti-infantry one. Then move the Hawk Riders back enough that they're not being shot at too much by those archers. Because as in a lot of games, archers are very effective against flying units. I'm going to back them up a little bit more. And as you can see, the enemy is taking quite a lot of damage. Poison's probably not helping. Neither is the fire damage. But now the enemy archers have gotten into range to start shooting themselves. So I'm going to have the sisters start shooting at them. And once we get these guys, their enemy infantry moving forward a little bit more, I'm going to send in the eagles to... I'm going to send the Great Eagle to deal with them. So I can just run them off the battle side. And it looks like these guys are going to go after the Great Stag Knights. So, because of that, I'm going to just send these guys in. And then I'm going to have the Stag Knights barrel into those Bleak Swords, because those are basic sword infantry and I'm not prepared for what is about to happen to them. Delightful. And morale is setting in, and now everyone's just running away because there was an overwhelming amount of damage going towards these guys right there at the end. I could chase these guys down if I wanted to, but because this is a settlement battle, I'm just going to leave that as a decisive victory on our end. As you can see, we have sustained 3 losses from our Eternal Guard being shot at, and the enemy incurred 278 losses from being shot and then run over. So, as to be expected, the first battle is generally supposed to be in your favor quite heavily, so that you can get used to the type of units that your faction can field. Now, as this, as it finishes loading the results, give it just a little bit more time as I drink this Pepsi.
I enjoyed that.
As you can see, because it was a settlement battle, even though we only actually took out 278 of them, they have nowhere to retreat to in a settlement battle, so their entire army was wiped. Now we have three options. We can occupy the heathland, we can sack it. Issues on your end? 1 second, let me see. Just check. YouTube isn't showing any issues, and I'm not showing any issues on OBS, so unless someone else types up and says they have issues, I'm gonna assume it's just you, unfortunately. But yeah, as I was saying, we can occupy the heathland, so we just take control of it ourselves. We could sack it, which would just, basically we raid it for materials, and then leave. Or we can clear it, which basically means that we destroy the entire settlement completely. And notably, first and last options will add health to the forest, because owning it ourselves or having it not be controlled by anyone will increase the health. Now for this, I'm going to occupy it.
We must know disorder.
And now I have building
When do we
options.
fight?
First-
Only when necessary.
First, I'm going to repair this, as it apparently got damaged during the fight. And then, because this is one of the, this is basically an outpost rather than a full settlement like the magical forests are, we have one option for, we can have one slot for building. We could put in a waystone, which increases growth, casualty replenishment, and provides hawk riders and treekin, which are basically a form of, ents, as additional defense here. We could use a world route pathway, which increases growth more in adjacent provinces as opposed to all provinces. Also reduces recruitment cost, makes global recruitment faster, and provides Eternal Guard, Wildwood Rangers, and Glade Guard, and also unlocks recruitment of Glade Guard here. Now we have the Sacrificial Grounds, which improves public order, gives you more income from raising settlements nearby, removes the taint of other certain factions that would corrupt the land, and gives more income from post-battle loot in nearby regions, as well as providing Wild Rider Cavalry, War Dancer Infantry, Treekin, and also gives recruitment of Dryads. And then finally, Foraging growth in all adjacent provinces, like the World Route Pathway. Construction cost is decreased for nearby regions, and it provides Glade Riders, Great Eagle, and 2 Glade Guard. For this, I'm going to, noting that we have Beastmen up here, including Korok's Brass Bull. Oh, that's lovely. I love that he's right there. That's just you can't believe how much I love that Torox is up there. He's right next to me. I love it. It's so... why is he right there? Why? Anyway, I'm gonna pick this because this gives overall growth bonuses and helps my units heal up faster, so it's good. Anyway, both are the Sisters of Twilight and our Spellsinger leveled up, so I'm gonna give the Sisters of Twilight this skill to start with, which will increase their movement on the campaign map, which is basically always what you want to start off with. And then I'm gonna have our Spellsinger upgrade Wissen's Wild Form because it's required to get access to all these other spells later on. And finally, we still have more money, so I'm gonna go to the Witchwood, and I can upgrade the Glade. I can also build a new building here. Later on, we can add the Sacred Grounds of Anathrema, which would be useful, but for now, I think I'm just going to pick Blade Guard hide so that we can put more ranged units later. So can we
Duty,
add more units here?
adventure.
Okay, we only have global recruitment here, so I'm not gonna recruit anyone right now. I am, however, going to upgrade Blade. Upgrade the forest so that we can build more buildings in later. And then, finally, research. You can see what the research tree looks like. Spreads out in two directions based on the two pantheons of the Wood Elves and the Elves in general. It ends up meeting near the end. And then there's some in the middle that require a special resource called Amber to unlock. But with that, we're good here, so we're just going to end our turn. We're going to see if those beastmen right north of us are going to make any stupid decisions. Oh yeah, and we have Tomb Kings next to us. We got those Egyptian undead over there. Oi! I saw you do that! Torox, get out of there! Torox, I swear, don't make me kick you out of here. I'll do it. Ah, I can tell he's right. It's like right. He's like right in this pathway. I know it. I hate it.
I seek only to bring greatness.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me just.
Do not frustrate my plans.
This. Alright. I'm just going to do some quick diplomacy with the Grand Hierophant Katep over here. Make an agreement not to fight each other, have an agreement that we can move through each other's land without penalty, and try and get some trade going.
Correct.
Now where is Torox?
The Sisters of Twilight. Sent
in
by
here.
the Mage Queen.
Where?
A season
I'm annoyed.
of peace.
I don't know where he
season
is.
of waste.
And he's increasing chaos corruption in the area, and I don't like it.
Find me in the war room.
I can't find him.
I'm bored,
Let's see.
sister.
Cease your prattle.
Well, not much that we can do right now. Couldn't find him, so we're just gonna skip this turn as well.
Bliss.
Bloodshed.
Oh, sister.
I do like these sisters. I do like these sisters a lot. They're back and forth with each other. It's hilarious. Where he's building up an army and I don't know where he is. I need to go back to the Witchwood and start increasing my own forces just in case.
When do we fight?
Only when necessary.
So we're gonna go into the Witchwood
Seeking
territory.
purity.
And at this point, we have access to normal Eternal Guard that don't have shields, as well as Glade Guard and Glade Guard with Hagbane tips, which do magical damage and poison. They do cost a little more and have more upkeep, so I'm probably going to get one more set of Eternal Guard and a couple more Glade Guard for now. And then next turn, I'll probably get 2 Eternal Guard and 1 Glade Guard.
Harmony.
Bloodshed.
Maybe the ones with the Hagbane tips, just so we have a little bit more poison. Right now, my priority is trying to build up a decent-sized army in case Torox decides to get any funny ideas, and because there are also angry Dark Elves to the east.
Peace will come.
Conflict will follow.
Specifically these ones. That these ones. That I want to get rid of. Alright. So, this, and that'll have us 15 out of the max of 20 units we could
My
have.
blade is sharp. My
So at that
spirit is
point, I
strong.
think I'm pretty comfortable with going up north and trying to find Torox and deal with him. Alright. We're given a side mission we can do, but I'm not interested in that for now. Let's see. I'll pick this, because this will give more forest health for winning battles in Magic Forest or the Heathlands, which includes these two settlements that I need to take at some point.
Let you die.
Nor I you.
So I'm gonna start making my way this way and do this. Okay, so there is an army here.
Ridiculous.
And Hag Hall has a bit of a garrison itself, so unfortunately I don't think I'm gonna be able to take that easily.
Inseparable.
Invincible.
Put myself into ambush stance so that they can't see me, and hopefully that army moves. If not, I'll probably circle back around and go for Vol's Anvil, because it's got a smaller garrison anyway.
Should we kill them, sister?
Stay your blade. I sense no malice in them.
Orion wants a non-aggression pact. An agreement between Wood Elves. Yes, I'm fine with that. Would be very odd if I didn't want good relations with who is effectively the husband of my boss. Well, I guess I gotta think of some reason that you wouldn't, but you know.
The frisson of dusk.
What I'm gonna do, I'm
Ariel's
gonna actually go
will.
this way.
Onward.
Together.
Put myself right between these two settlements so that they're forced to either move the vault. They can't defend both at the same time. And that is what we're counting on right now. Now, we found Torox. Oh, he's got a full army. And he's raiding my stuff. Great. Great, yeah, I love this. This is fantastic. This is everything I ever wanted.
You know who we are?
They know, sister. Our kin will cooperate.
You also want a non-aggression pact. Well, I see no reason not to. I would be doing this myself, but I know that they're going to offer it anyway, so
Forest protects.
less effort
The
on my part.
forest
Wait a minute.
provides.
Forest encounter! Chittering in the deeps! A verminous horde of
Let there be
Skaven!
peace.
Let there be battle.
Please let me... I'm trying to narrate. A verminous horde of Skaven have started emerging from the ground at the edge of the forest. Their specific purpose is unclear, but their squalid, parasitic ways are more than just an affront to the weave. Skittering ratmen and the twisted creatures of their foul ranks are abominations of nature and represent everything you stand against. More of them are still emerging, but by preemptively attacking, you can prevent them from reaching full strength. Which is what this is right here.
Dawn, dusk, stronger together.
So we're gonna go take care of that first, because that's a higher priority. And as you can see, they have a lot of units, but we have superiority in the quality of our troops, and we're ambushing them. So just do a quick save. All right, what do we got? Got a bunch of clan rat spears. We have a bunch of clan rats. We have some Skaven slaves, and we have wolf rats. Yeah, this is not a very high-profile army. Even with the numbers advantage, this is not going to go well for them. An ambush battle is fought when one army surprises another on the campaign map. The defender starts the battle surrounded by the attacker with no chance to deploy. The defending army is surprised on the march and starts the battle in an unfavorable position on the battlefield. Which you can sort of tell from this preview map you have in the center here. The yellow is where I can deploy, the red is where the enemy might be. Let's see. This is where they are. Let's see. Now, I think technically the wolf rats might be the most dangerous thing, apart from, of course, their army leader. But of course, we have a Great Eagle that will resolve the leader. We also have the Great Stag Knights, which I'll put over here. I have the Hawk Riders. I can just sort of put like here. And then it's mostly just a matter of what we're gonna aim to do is move the Eternal Guard into this opening between these two rock faces. and then have our blade guard right behind them to shoot at the enemy. And then meanwhile, our flying will have the Spellsinger in the back to support, and then the Sisters of Twilight, the Great Eagle, Hawk Riders, and the Great Stag Knights will be moving around the battlefield where is necessary to ensure maximum destruction. 13 Winds of Magic is enough because we only have the one spell anyway. So, right now we all have little eye symbols above our unit cards, which indicates that they don't know where we are. So we do this, like so. Do this, like so. And then I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to prepare arrows of furnace into those wolf rats. And this is already correct, so we'll just let that happen. And allow the ambush to be sprung. As you can see, the wolf rats might be able to get into melee before I can position correctly. Nope, never mind, they're not. Alright, and now I will have the Stag Knights pull out. I'm going to pause for a moment so that I can have this spell prepared on these Eternal Guard who are about to be attacked by wolf rats. And then I'm going to have the Hawk Riders move forward. The Great Eagle will stay where they are because they're doing good so far. And then once the Great Stag Knights have pulled out, we'll have them charge into these Clan Red Spears to assist my Eagle. Also, for some reason, did that, which I think did more damage to their forces than mine. So, you know. Our forces did take some damage, but overall they're pretty good. I may need to pull my Eagle back, though. That said, okay, so they are using some. Oh, my Sisters of Twilight are in a good position. They're actually hitting my own troop. I need them. And that's not quite ready yet.
Hurry! It shall be done.
And we keep moving them here.
Armed and ready.
Basically just keep moving our Great Stag Knights, try to move away.
Swift. Very well.
But these wolf rats are being really annoying, so we're gonna go fight them. Then I'm gonna just send the Eagle right into these troops and try and force a retreat therein.
They're using magic.
Uh-oh.
Very well.
Oh no, you don't.
Swiftly.
I'm trying to attack from behind, but I'm gonna make sure that doesn't work.
The season of war!
Fortunately, the Great Stag Knights ended up kind of getting overwhelmed, which was my fault.
Sisters of Twilight!
But battle is still going extremely well in our favor. The Great Stag Knights being able to sort of split off a bunch of enemy units away made sure that our forces weren't getting overwhelmed by sheer numbers there. Now, if we can get the leader to flee, that would be the best situation for us.
I'll enjoy this!
I'm gonna have the sisters focus on them. Trying to snipe them. Damn these wolf rats.
Battle ready!
I'm gonna buff up these archers so they can defend themselves here. Really starting to get on my nerves. I'll send the Great Eagle here to take care of those wolf rats that are coming from the other flank.
Sisters of Twilight!
Just did something. I'm not sure what.
My bow hungers!
Alright, and it looks like all those rats have decided that those wolf rats have decided they no longer want to fight, and we've finally caused a mass rout. And I'm just gonna end things here. Rest assured, Eden, I will slaughter many in your name. And mine. Unfortunately, we did overall take more losses than I would have liked, but we were able to do a lot of damage there and successfully defend the forest. Especially considering that we were effectively outnumbered 2-1 there.
Has prevailed.
We also have the option to, since this is a field battle instead of a settlement battle, we have the option of Nature's Grace, which will basically we allow the warriors that we've captured to return to their people in exchange for ransom, which will also give our units 5% physical resistance for 3 turns. We have Arahan's Wrath, where we basically execute our captives, and that will increase the missile strength of our units by 5% and our leadership of our units by 4 for 3 turns. Or we can abduct captives, which will allow us to replenish our soldiers. That one is what I'm going to do. And then those rats run away.
By the Mage Queen.
No,
Unfortunately, they are still there.
Itching for fresh battle.
So I'm going to pull back into
Looking
the
for a
Witchwood,
fight.
because within our own territory, we'll start replenishing our troops.
Itching for fresh battle.
And then we're going to... I'm going to pick Inspiring Presence, which will improve our character aura, leadership effect. All of our important characters, like the leaders and the mage and such, have an aura around them that will boost the leadership of the units nearby. This will increase that effect. And more importantly, on future levels, it will allow us to get access to these skills that increase the capabilities of specific troop types within our army. And we also have the Spellsinger. I'm going to give her Block of Doom so that she has an offensive spell. And as you can see, our forest is gaining health. Now, we have to figure out what we're going to do about you. Let's just leave you. Doesn't matter too much. Orcs also doesn't really have the most elite of armies, which makes sense because at the beginning of the game, still not pleased with his presence. Especially since at any given moment he could declare war and then just completely take over the Temple of Adioth.
I sense no malice in them.
He wants a defensive alliance. Exchange for money. Yeah, if you want money from me, it's gonna be a no. We'll have a defensive alliance when you actually want it, and not when you want me to pay you for it. Alright, let's see.
The sanctity of
Haven are moving in again.
The frisson of dusk. Dawn, dusk, stronger together. There
Just
will
charge them again. Yeah, I'll just auto-resolve this.
harmony shall reign.
We took some losses, but we were able to wipe out the rest of their army, and we can
accept
actually
Ariel's
regain
will.
more troops than we started with by doing that. And that will take care of them. Which will also now, because we resolved that
Harmony has prevailed.
and did some more fighting, has increased the forest health more. now we can actually go back into the field and head towards Vol's Anvil to take that. We also have made contact with Nagaryth.
Greetings. I sway to Loic's tune. For whom do you dance?
Hello, Alice.
The time is not right.
Alright, fine. No non-aggression patch. We're begging for that later. And then the sister's got another one.
Triumphs once more.
So, let's see. Because I feel it's thematically appropriate, I'm going to start with Wings of the Forest, which basically is going to boost weapon strength by 6% for all of our flying units. And then on future levels, it'll also increase charge bonuses, and for the Hawk Riders, since they're the one flying unit that can fight at range, will also reduce the time it takes for them to reload their bows to fire again.
The unbridled glory of battle.
Then for a Spell Singer, I'm going to give her Wild Heart, because every time she casts a spell, this will increase power reserves, which is basically the Winds of Magic, for 29 seconds. Then from there, we don't really have anything else we can do. Next turn, this will finish upgrading, so then we'll be able to start looking into upgrading these buildings. Will give us more options. And it looks like Torox is going to head up north, which is 100% fine with me. Him leaving is 100% fine by me. This guy still wants me to pay him for a defensive alliance. That's not happening. Let's see. Oof. Alright. So, the Dark Elves have attacked, even though I have the advantage. But if we go with the auto-resolve, you can see the red flashing symbols over some of our units. Those units will be destroyed completely in the battle. And, to be honest, the Eternal Guard could be replaced pretty easily, but losing the Great Eagle and the Great Stag Knights is not fantastic. What does the battlefield look like? On game load. Alright, never mind. That's taking too long. Alright. Well, let's see. Let's look what they got. The main issue that I see is that they have a lot of cavalry. And a lot of them have the repeater crossbows, which means that they're archer cavalry. So the main issue... So basically we probably want to defeat the enemy lord as soon as possible to help reduce their morale. And then... Oh, they got so much range. Well, ranged units. Great Stag Knights do decently against their Dark Riders. The fact that there's 3 of them is worth. If we could get the Dark Riders to engage the Internal Guard, that would be best, but they got so many of their own infantry. I'm just gonna auto-resolve it.
Battle, a regrettable necessity. Harmony must be imposed.
And the reason for that is that the other advantage is that doing the auto-resolve means that because we won, we guarantee that we're able to destroy the entirety of the enemy's force.
Remain calm.
It means that I can now go to Vol's Anvil without having to worry about retribution. And this time, I'm going to fight this myself. So, like the first battle, but with less units this time, we're basically going to be doing something similar. The main difference is that the Sisters of Twilight are probably going to have to enter melee combat themselves to keep our archers. But the advantage that they have is that they can still shoot their bows while in melee, so that will work in favor.
Awaiting orders.
So Hawk Rider is going to move over here. We have the high ground, which is
Ready and able.
always a welcome advantage. So we'll just move them to the edge. With the Spell Singer here,
Sisters
move
of Twilight!
Sisters up here. Wait,
Nestra and
Over here.
Arahan!
and then switch to that. Start battle. We're gonna have the Hawk Riders immediately shoot the Dark Shields with the Volley of Kurnus. And then immediately retreat.
Without delay. Right. We accept.
So, got immediate damage. Their shots miss. We back off. Everything is good.
Sisters of Twilight! I'll enjoy this! Ever ready!
Once they get close, I'm going to... Actually, I'm going to send all of our archers to toggle skirmish mode so that they'll automatically retreat.
Ever ready.
The Hawk Riders are prepared to send in another volley. We're going to just try and get rid of that one unit of Dark Shards immediately if we can. Get them to run, where they can start actually shooting.
The weaklings use missiles.
Oh, shut up. You're using missiles too. Why don't you go run back home to Marathi? Our Lord is being shot at, but that's nothing that we didn't expect. We're just going to keep shooting at them. And I'm going to now have the Sisters charge into these guys. Try and get them to run. And then in a moment... Alright, we can now fire this. Second volley going in. Got some good damage. And then I'm going to have Flock of Doom go down on these Dread Spears. Get a bunch of damage going there. Buff up the Twin Sisters of the Twilight while they're in melee combat. And now, soon they should start routing.
Sisters of Twilight!
Yep, there we go. Mass rout. So what would have been otherwise a much worse battle ended up becoming a decisive victory with how many losses? 11 losses. Never, ever underestimate how much your general do during a fight. Now, obviously, this strategy also only worked because they had a very basic garrison. If they had any actual good units, that would have been a very different story. But because they just had, like, some basic sword and shield people, and, sorry, sword and spear people, and then some crossbows, they weren't too difficult to deal with. My archers were able to outrange the crossbows. They were able to do a lot of damage before they could get in and shoot. Always the Kermis help a lot. Now we'll occupy this heathland. Ooh, and we got, that's not so useful on her, but whatever. Let's see. I'm also going to put this, Bolt to the Forest, which buffs up our archers, basically. And then you, I will give, let's go with Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. This adds melee defense, so your ability to avoid getting hit in melee, and then also 20% physical resistance, which reduces the damage taken from anything that isn't magic, basically. We also got actually 2 levels, so I'm also going to put a spell point into Amber Spear, which is just basically just shooting a magical projectile at my enemies.
Itching for fresh battle.
Then we do this. We this time we'll pick the sacrificial ground so that we can start hiring dryads. Also over here, the Oak of Ages can be upgraded. That's nice. So we'll do that. And we'll move back over here. and we'll see what we can do. We no longer have the money to upgrade these, fortunately. But that's fine, because I want to get the Azrai Forge, because that will allow us to get the Eternal Guard that have shields. And then once I have the money, I will next go for this, because this, in addition to the benefits you can see on the left, it enables Awakened Force attrition, so local enemy armies will take more damage just by trying to move through my territory. All armies will get more strength to any projectiles that we're using. And then Aura Beast casters will have +3 to their starting level. It provides a garrison of 1 Hawk Riders, 2 Dryad units, and 1 Great Eagle, and then, most importantly, unlocks the recruitment of Hawk Riders. So if I get a bunch of those, then I will be able to
Awaiting bloodshed.
I'll be able to summon a lot. I'll be able to get a lot of Hawk Riders, which means a lot of Volley of Kernesses, which is always nice.
You approach a dark throne. I pray you bring only light. There is no victory.
Come on. Don't be difficult. Alright. So now we just move on. Got Dark Elves to our north, but they're not inherently hostile to us yet. And it looks like Alithanar is going to take care of that. So we just wait this out, and then I'm probably going to return to the Witchwood so that we can focus on trying to rebuild our number. Oh, I don't like that.
My arrows grow keener.
Where? Oryx has erected a blood grounds, which is not fun. That means that anything within range of that is something that he's going to prioritize trying to destroy, most likely. I haven't actually seen much of the AI in terms of doing stuff like that, so we'll see. Also over here we have 3 options for skills that buff up ourselves and nearby troops. We have one, and they're all mutually exclusive, so I can only pick one. This one will increase melee attack, this one increases missile damage, and this one increases melee defense. In our case, because of the way we work, probably gonna pick this. And then I'm going to see if we can use the world route to get out of here. It does not have the range I want. What we're going to do instead is we're going to use Archie's Stance. That will allow us to get completely through this territory and over here. And then we have enough money to buy some things, but I'm going to wait another turn so that we can get this.
You have proven yourself an enemy of the forest.
In other words, you're dead.
And now Torox has declared war on me, as I expected. So now it's very important that I try to build up an army that will be able to then, hopefully, ideally, ambush Torox at some point. Okay, we got a little dilemma here. As with all things in the natural world, a denizen of the forest has shed their mortal shell and become one with the woods. Yet the question remains of how to honor the body now that they have passed. They could be sacrificed in the flames, immolated as Orion is each year, a warrior's pyre. Or the body could be planted deep within the ground, allowing the hungry root of the deep wood to draw strength from the moldering remains. So if we burn the body, we get upkeep reduction and better casualty replenishment. And if we bury them, we get recruitment costs reduced for the Ent units and more growth. I'm going to choose this specifically because that will give us more
Serene Nestor.
money.
Tempestuous
That'll help us make
arrow.
more money that we can use to get more units that will be useful. I'm gonna just keep the Sisters of Twilight where they are, I think, and
Rest,
camp.
if you must.
Then we need to start rebuilding, so I'm gonna get these. Wait. No, I'm only gonna get 2 for now because I also want to get this. And then next turn,
When do we fight?
Only when necessary.
we're gonna need to make sure that we have a strong column of infantry to protect the archers in future battles. So that's gonna be a big thing. We're also going to then, let's see, what are our options? I'm gonna go with Vol because this gives more armor for elf infantry and cavalry. So that will buff up the Eternal Guard as we hire more of them.
Many secret.
Alright, shut up. Just wanted to take a quick check on
The
this.
shadows come. The day
What about you?
wanes. Are you prepared for no? we
Nope,
cannot.
still no, huh? He's a very wary person, so I understand that he doesn't want to make any deals with us, but... Oh, look! As you can see here, we have 3 out of 3. So the Forge Daith we can now access. Let's... Oh no, can we not? Is that not a thing we can do? Maybe it's not. They changed how this works. See? Okay, so we have 3 favor. Have several things to look at. We also have blessings that we could potentially get. Let's see, the Dreaming Cloak, which starts with giving reduced upkeep, and also gives stock, and then finally will give snipe. Can I do this? And do this.
Such masterful handiwork.
A pointless trinket.
And then we could do it again. But I'm going to save that for now. Let's see, this increases hit points, physical resistance, and casualty replenishment. This gives a passive ability. I wish... Hey, what does this do? Okay, this constantly reduces armor and melee defense of those around. As well as increasing post-battle loot and income from raising settlements. This increases melee attack and armor-piercing weapon damage. This increases armor, melee defense, and reduces recovery time. Let's also check. Okay, so this is that kind of thing. So we get the Eagle Bow, which will increase range and missile strength. We get the Eagle Mask, which increases ambush success chance and increases our research rate. We get this. There's a lot of options here. What is this one? Twilight Horn. Interesting, but probably not for me. That's not bad. What does this do? Okay. Alright, that's also not bad. The Dreaming Bow. I think we'll go for the Twilight Spear as well.
The craftsmanship is impeccable.
Why grant Nestra tools of war?
Then this is really good. These are all good in their own way, actually, but I think I'm gonna go with the Dreaming Boot.
My thanks, Master Smith.
My one will be even finer.
Then we'll go over to the Sisters, and we'll equip the Dreaming Boots, Twilight Spear, and Dreaming Cloak. We're also going to take the Hawk Companion away from the Spellsinger, because the range increase is more useful on her. Alright. So once those come into play, will give us a bunch of benefits. Especially since this also, the Dreaming Cloak I forgot, also allows you to summon a unit of Glade Guard into the battle, which is very nice. Alright. So with that, we can end this turn. And then next turn, I'll start focusing again on getting more Eternal Guard. And we'll also keep an eye to the north to see when Torox makes an appearance. Because depending on how large my army is at that point, I have to decide if I want to move back to Vol's Anvil, or let him go after it, and then attack his army afterward. Uh-oh. That's a problem. There's a thing over there. It isn't... They are saying that it isn't, like, an immediate thing I have to worry about, though, so...
Duty, adventure.
For the moment, we can at least sort of just focus on this still. Because I do really need to make sure that we have enough melee or units. So we'll pause again. Alrighty. Rock still hasn't shown his face. Very good. And when will that building finish? One more turn.
The sanctity of dawn.
The frisson of dusk.
Alright, and the next turn I'll see about getting at least one more unit of Hawk. Actually, 5, 8. Yeah, 8 units of Eternal Guard is probably good. At least for now. Eventually we'll probably replace them with other types of units, but...
I am troubled. Do you elect?
And now he's willing to have that defensive alliance with us. Whoops.
Not one do not look for me in the light. Not this
And
time.
you're still not willing. The defensive alliance is also important because then anything that he controls within the Heathlands also benefits our forest health. So as you can see, we're now up to 16. And let's see. I'm trying to remember, ritual requires 100 health. Okay, so it takes a while. Okay, and apparently Alithanar's been very busy. But that's fine. As soon as I can get a defensive alliance with him having Hag Hall and Ice Rock Gorge means that those will contribute to us as well. And at the very least, him taking them means that they're heroes instead of a -1 for Hag Hall, which is still a benefit to me. So, we wait once more. Bleak Holds have now been destroyed, so there's no longer any enemies within immediate vicinity.
It is true. There is no other way.
And Morathi is now declaring war on me, of course. But she has to get through Alithanar to get to me first anyway, so I don't very much mind that. So now we have the Slaughterhorn tribe led by Torox up there. We got the Cult of Pleasure led by Morathi to the south. We got enemies everywhere, but as long as they don't get too close, it doesn't matter.
I am content.
I am bored.
We got a quest. Okay, so if we win 3 battles against the Greenskins,
Harmony.
Bloodshed.
we'll be given the opportunity to confederate with Widroth, which is one of the factions. Oh, okay, and then if we win 3 battles against Bretonnia, we'll have the option to confederate with Torgavon. If we did want at least one of those over here, that would benefit us because then I would have not only the territory owned by the faction, but we would also have any armies they currently own, which, assuming that doesn't put me into the red in terms of our upkeep up here, we would be able to then address this right here without having to send the Sisters of Twilight over there and then not be able to move back for forever. So,
Itching for fresh battle.
in the meantime though, we'll get 2 more Hawk Rider units. Then Blade Guard unit. Then next turn we'll probably get 1 more Blade Guard unit, and then we'll have
Show me
Actually, maybe one more Hawk Rider unit?
Patience.
I'll take a look at what we have next turn. What our options are. Get the truck, stay where you are. I'll come after you sooner or later. Oh yeah, I should mention, so you'll notice that if you look at a lot of the factions, some of them, if you don't know the lore, it may be difficult to tell, but basically there are certain characters known as legendary lords. These are the ones that generally are in charge of major factions. So like Orion in charge of Telsin is one, and like Aurochs being in charge of the Slaughterhorn tribe, and so on and so forth. If you manage to defeat a legendary lord in battle, the lord that led the army that defeated them will get a bonus depending on which lord that was. We're gonna do that. It's gonna have our income's gonna be very low, but the army that we'll have is powerful enough to warrant, well, to make up for that. Especially since right now Witchwood doesn't have anything that we have to worry about. Skaven one, a non-aggression pact. Sure. Only because they're at war with the Dark Elves, and I'm more worried about the Dark Elves than I am the Skaven right now. And yes, there was that army that came to attack me, but that's not quite the same. Alright, and then over here on the right, we have a notification that shows that Torox is raiding in the Val's Anvil. Can't see him right now, but...
Seek the enemy.
Oh, hold on. Azrev had a patchy relationship with the denizens of the forest. Whilst often the two peoples get along harmoniously, there have been issues. Lately, malevolent dryads have taken the kidnapping elven children for fun. When brought to justice, they remain unrepentant. It is their forest, they say. To burn them would anger the forest, but surely they must be made to pay for their crimes against the Azrai. So we can send them to the Wildwood, which reduces public order. Or we can burn them, and that increases the recruitment cost for dryads. Public order is way more important if I'm not playing the higher dryads anytime soon. I'm going to use the world roots and move here. And there we can see Torox in all of his annoying glory, moving through my lands. And if I have another turn before he gets too close, what I would like to do is get into an ambush stance.
For mercy, Nestra.
I hate you. I hate you, Tretch. I should have known you were going to do this. He asked for a non-aggression pact and then immediately declared war on me, because his faction gets bonuses if he breaks pacts. Although he usually doesn't take advantage of that fact, which is why I didn't expect it, but... if I see that rat, I'm gonna squash that rat, and then feed him to my eagle. Yeah, that sounds suitable. Alright.
Harmony prevails.
How tiresome.
And then we have another one of those jobs. Chaos is... we have Whispers of Chaos to the north.
Bored, sister.
Cease your prattle.
If we win a battle against Norska, we can confederate with Lorelorn Forest, which, in case you don't know, is way over here in the Empire's lands. Where apparently the Warherd of the Shadowgate is taking root there. Just more beastmen having fun. Anyway, let's see. Okay, if we do this one, that gives us diplomatic relations with Bretonia, but they're nowhere nearby. We've been mostly doing that right now for the campaign movement range, but I want to pick Drakira because she gives two different benefits, for ambushes.
The Sisters of Twilight.
So now what we do is we move here,
Moving with grace.
enter ambush
Merge
stance,
with shadow.
and hopefully Torix comes back down and we'll be able to ambush his army and then wipe it off the planet.
My blade is sharp.
My spirit is strong.
And if not, we'll try and slowly make our way up north to try and take care of his little birdstone up here. Because the part of the free update that came alongside the Silence and the Fury DLC included an overhaul for the Beastmen. So now instead of just being a horde army, they can erect herdstones that allow them to designate the area around it as blood grounds.
Untrue, sister.
Which means that basically all the stuff around it, they can cause devastation by attacking it. And then if they create enough devastation, they can do a ritual at the herdstone that solidifies it into... Oh, Clan Rictus got destroyed before I could get to them.
Bloodshed.
Weird.
Sister.
Anyway, I'm gonna move up north because I suspect that
So be it.
the smoke means that Torax is attacking Claire Curon's city over there. We're gonna move up. And we're going to go into stealth again.
An ambush. How delicious.
So that we can then attack the Venom Glaive, hopefully destroy it before Torax can get back to reinforce it. And then we'll just have our merry way along. Now then. I want to upgrade the Flock of Doom so that we can use the upgraded version of it. And then if I upgrade it again, it will reduce the magic cost, the cooldown, and the miscast chance, which is all very good. Because as long as Alithanar owns Ice Rock Gorge and Hag Hall, and as long as I own the Temple of Adioth and Vol's Anvil, Witchwood will not be under threat. Right, so far so good. It doesn't look like my ambush has been detected. So I should be able to get to the Venom Glaive. Then I'll just burn it to the ground. I could take it over, but I don't want to leave myself in a... Yep, Torax just ruined that. And because the Herdstone's nearby, that actually can't be colonized. There can't be a new settlement put there until this Herdstone is destroyed. Of course, funny thing, that's exactly what I'm coming over to do. Now we have this banner, which gives a passive ability and increases magic resistance. I'm going to put that on her. Then, we're going to go into battle. This is going to be interesting. So it goes from close victory to decisive victory just by me doing that. Interesting. Anyway, we got a lot of beastmen to fill up with holes. Mostly with arrows. Make those holes. Also, suitably to the wood elves, they get benefits if you leave them in like the trees. So theoretically, it's a good idea to like put my guys in that little forest you can see in the left side of the yellow zone, but it doesn't. I don't think it really matters for this. Also, they could come through this forest, which would then make it harder to shoot at them. So I'm just gonna create a standard battle line, just like right here. Yep. Then put the Glade Guard behind them, and I'm going to do this. That they're a little more compact together, but more importantly, so they're not sticking out past the Eternal Guard.
Windweaver.
I'm gonna put her there, put her there, and have this set. And then I'm gonna move. Oh, third deployment. We don't need the gamble. The Hawk Rider's here, and then as soon as the battle starts, let's. First of all, okay, so it's kind of medium there. Anyway, I'm gonna just throw down some volleys of Kurnus onto the Centaurs, which, as you can somewhat tell from the name, are basically just centaurs, but they're beastmen. Volleys of Kurnus incoming! Ah, glorious.
Armed and ready!
And then we'll have the Hawk Riders back
Swiftly!
and shoot back as they go. Getting good damage as they move. And then I'm going to activate the Dreaming Cloak to put some Blade Guard right here. That way they serve as a distraction and are able to get an extra firepower. Then I'm gonna have the Hawk Riders focus on shooting down the Harpies. And I think I'm going to have Sisters go after these Centaurs because they're obviously going to try and circle around and flank. I can't have that.
Sisters of Twilight!
Ariel, please. That's not what I wanted. All right, hold on. I had to do. There's things I need to do here. Let's see. So first of all, Spell Singer. Let's see what should we do. Let's use the Flock of Doom on these guys. And then just some Ball Form here. And then the Pelt here. And then we'll Amber Spear. Right into the back of the Centaurs. Okay, I may have hit some of my own guys, but it's theoretically still fine. What I'm going to do, though, is when I send these Eternal Guard back and around, try and help deal with these guys. And it looks like Winds are doing fine. And the guys in the front are just getting obliterated with arrow fire, so we're doing pretty good overall. Also, have some back you up. You shoot them. And you guys will shoot the. Sure. That sounds like a good idea. Get out of here! Leave! Good. And that should be enough to cause the mass rout. So, some of our units took a bit of damage, but overall, wasn't too bad. We're just gonna enjoy watching these guys get shot down. Perfect. Alright. And as expected, decisive victory. $118 losses versus 972 of the enemy. And over on the left, you can see that Sisters actually did 445 kills on their own. And the Hawk Riders also got a lot of damage. Mostly it's our range units, as you would expect from the Wood Elves, that are getting the most kills. The melee units are mostly there just to sort of... Oh, Eden, you just missed me slaughter a bunch of cow people.
Smile upon us.
These ones on the right that don't exist anymore. And neither does their settlement.
It is tomorrow's destination.
Ogres, my lord. These brutish nomads are as strong as they are stupid. But do not underestimate them. They are hardy warriors and will cannibalize any foe that dares to cross them.
Because the... What do you mean, why did I slaughter the cows? Because they declared war on me. You see this guy? Look, it's Torox. Torox the brass bull. This guy is a pain. I hate him. No, unless I eventually play as him, in which case I'll enjoy it immensely, but, you know. Listen,
The sisters
it's a
of
fantasy
Twilight.
world. Don't question it. Now, unfortunately, there's a chance that Torox will come straight for me. I would prefer if he didn't. Yeah, I didn't think so. Alright. So... also, I would love the hire Orgo mercenaries, but it'd be so expensive. I can't afford to do that right now. So in the meantime, we're gonna wait here and hope that Torox doesn't try to avenge his Hearthstone being absolutely demolished by trying to demolish
quickly.
me.
Fear not. We will listen carefully.
What's up, Katep? Military alliance. Sure. I don't expect that you'll have any issues with the kind of people I want to deal with. Hey, Torox, you suck! Alright, yeah, I had a feeling he was gonna do that. Let's see, if we retreat, can he still reach us? He cannot. Perfect. Excellent. I was worried that he'd be able to try and engage us a second time, and then I would have to fight him, but... For some reason, he decided to stay in raiding stance, which was an odd choice, but I'm not gonna complain.
The Ruinous Legion is diminutive.
Now what we can do is, let's see. Okay, that doesn't count as a forest, huh? That's unfortunate. What we're going to do is we're going to move over here. And we're going to go back into ambush stance. And with luck, Torox will try to move south towards Val's Anvil. And if he does, we'll ambush him. Otherwise, we have recouped most of our losses from the previous battle, so... should be able to fight him on equal terms anyway, but I would prefer if we could have things be a little uneven. Now, next, let's see.
Nor I you.
Girls, please, I'm trying to concentrate. We're just gonna... I wish I could get this. For now, we're just gonna do this. We're gonna start upgrading buildings. And then we will, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to our, talk to that elf.
Vengeance. The Shadow Crown weighs heavily on my head.
Let's
Do
see,
not
if I pay him,
increase
would he
its
be willing
burden.
to make alliance?
Loic forbids
No.
us.
Alright. One day, Elithanar. One day you will agree that we should have a non-aggression pact. And then eventually a defensive alliance. And then I will benefit from your lands. Now, will Torox see through the ambush? He did not. Oh, no, he spotted us. Alright. Probably win this. The main issue is just... the main issue is going to be these Warhounds. I'm going to have to deal with those, but... I would have preferred if we could get an ambush off just to make this a lot easier, but... if it says close victory, then in theory we can get a decisive victory out of this anyway. So, let's go mess with the Brass Bull. Now, a bit of lore for anyone listening. The reason Torox is known as the Brass Bull is because he is one of the most foremost Minotaurs in the Beastmen forces. His reign of destruction and terror upon anyone that gets in his way so impressed Khorne, the god of blood and war, that he sent a messenger to give Torox a blessing. He would encase Torox's body in a layer of brass armor that would give him 100% protection and was magically enchanted, so it basically, for Eden's reference, basically counted like having your entire skin turned into mage metal. So, very, very dangerous. Now, The issue comes from, now Torox, you see, was a very hungry person. So when the messenger arrived, Torox ate the messenger. Alright. I guess thank you. But, you know, you didn't have to say that out loud as I'm trying to tell you a story. Anyway. So, because he ate the messenger, Korn was kind of upset by this. So, what Korn decided to do was, he still gave Torox the enhanced body, but he also intentionally added a weakness to it. So what he ended up doing is, as I set out my army in preparation for battle, is he added a weak spot, an Achilles heel, or in the case of Torox, an Achilles throat, or within this otherwise basically invulnerable armor. Korn made sure that there was a weak point, specifically on, I don't know if we can see it here, yeah, let's see. Oh, you can sort of see it. If you look under his head at the right point, you can see that beneath his neck is a weak point, a single spot within the armor that if you were to attack there would be completely undefended. And because that spot is the throat, if you did hit there, more likely than not, you would probably be able to kill him. So, long story short, Torox is very strong, very dangerous, and is not invincible unless you can hit him right in the throat. He's also very big. It's not immediately obvious here, but as he gets closer to other things, for comparison, you'll be able to tell. They're also going through the forest, which makes it hard to see, which is why I moved my army back here. Yes, it is cruel. It's almost like the supposed gods of chaos in this universe are extremely fickle beings. Alright, and right now we're just waiting for Torox and his forces to make an appearance in the forest. May need to adjust the position of my main force, depending on where they come from. But I'm definitely going to let them come to me since they were attacking us anyway. I think. Oh, we count as the attackers. Alright, well, that doesn't matter that much, honestly, but...
Your command!
Now, I am going to point out that, yes, the throat is a very obvious weak point, but if you look at Torox, his natural body posture means that his head, actually is over the spot where the weakness in his armor is. So, normally, it would be, even with that weakness, you can sort of see that glowing red spot, like, at the neck. That's where the weak spot is. And as you can see from his posture, that's, not the easiest shot to make. No, that's not the command, that's the voice of my, Hawk Riders while I'm controlling them. So that's the voices of the people that are riding these eagles while I'm sending them commands. Yeah, see, when I tell them to attack, they go, "To war!" and then start shooting. That's what's going on there. Alright, and we got, their archers are starting to make an appearance. So, let's make them regret hearing. As you'll see in a moment. Fire! The game did not like that. Alright. And then do this. Yep. Yep. And the Hawk Riders will shoot these hounds. No. If I were to lose this battle, first of all, because if you lose the first time, like, they engaged us, and then we fought, so if I lost, my army would just retreat with whatever forces survived. Unless they managed to, like, defeat all of my forces, which would be unlikely. Especially because I think as soon as I lose, the battle gets called, so they wouldn't be able to chase down any forces that are fleeing. If my forces got engaged a second time, or if I had run the first time and then they attacked and won, then my entire army would be destroyed. But legendary lords like the Sisters of Twilight cannot actually be permanently killed, at least not normally. So even if we did lose, they would just go under like a cooldown type thing until we could fight them, until we could rejoin battle, that is. And I'm going to start shooting into Torox. He's probably the biggest issue. I'm going to summon the big guard here. And these hounds are leaving, running away, so I'm going to move my Hawk here. So basically, if I lose this battle, I would just have to accept whatever losses I took and then try and rebuild my forces again later. That's basically what would happen. I'm going to have these Blade Guards shoot them. Shoot the Brass Bull! Kill him! Do not let him get into melee. Please don't let him get into melee, please. Yes, because so basically to lose the game, I would need to have all of my all the territories that I control, I would need to lose them, and then I would need all of my standing armies to be destroyed, because even if my army leader can't be killed, I need there to be a settlement for me to create a new army from. So if I were to basically, like I said, I would have to lose all my settlements, which would then mean that I no longer have the ability to raise new armies and build them up. And then if I lost all my armies at that point, I would then be out of the game because I would not be able to field any additional forces. So that's how I would lose. Now let's see. Torox appears to be charging for this group. So let me just quickly go over him and see. Okay, so he has magical attacks. That's important because this is physical resistance, but that doesn't help if he does magical attacks. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to apply Wissen's Wild Form. We're going to go into slow motion. Then I'm going to apply this. And I was able to get him to back off because of that. Then I'm going to apply this, which will do a little damage to him, but it's mostly to get rid of that the guys that are about to enter melee. And alright, now I'm going to send my eagles this way, try and shoot down these war hounds to get them to retreat. And right now, the Heralds of Ariel are kind of just getting shot at by these guys, which they're not doing a lot of damage, but eventually that damage will pile up, so eventually I'll have them pull back. I really want to try and avoid that as long as possible. And Torox is really laying into my stuff, so I'm going to send these guys to attack the Brass Bull. And I could try an Amber Spear, but since he's in melee, that would likely do damage that I would not want. I'm gonna aim at these hounds to try and get them off of my archers. And it looks like we're about to get those hounds to leave. Yep, so that archer fire should do it. Yep, perfect. And now, soon we'll be able to get another set of volleys of Kurnus going, but we're going to focus on taking out the Brass Bull over here with our Hawk Riders, because if he runs, they'll be able to continue firing at him. And in the meantime, I'm gonna switch sisters, this, and then I'm gonna have them move like here. So they can start shooting at the melee troops instead of Torox. Alright, and now Torox is leaving. So I'm going to take these two Eternal Guard because they're not really doing anything right now. And I'm going to have them start moving in. I'm going to have them move like this. I'm going to have these Eternal Guard to join this conflict. And then I'm going to reset these Glade Guard to start shooting again. There we go. Right. It looks like those Warhounds are coming back. So I'm going to see if we can get shots off of them before they can do that. Well, actually, let's send them these Eternal Guard. Intercept. If I can get them to back off long enough, then I can have the Glade Guard shoot them.
Eternal Guard.
So the Glade Guard should be able to handle the dogs. That's not going to be a problem for them.
Dauntless Asway.
Sisters of Twilight!
Alright, and Torox is still running. So, okay. If I do this. If I do this and have the Volley of Kernus go here and here, I should be able to cause a mass rout. Fire! Or maybe not, I don't know. But, alright, Torox is gone. So I can send my Eternal Guard back. And Torox leaving the battlefield has caused the rest to retreat. Now, unlike last time, I am going to try and just run down as many of these guys as possible. So, he's going to melee. And we're going to start just trying to rush we're going to try and run down as many of these guys as possible so that I don't have to fight them in the future. Or if I'm able to get into range and just attack them myself, I'll be able to do as much damage as possible. But now, are they in range for this? They are not. Well, maybe she's fast enough to catch up with them. But if not, whatever.
Glade Guard. Our bows are yours.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be able to get. She can't move fast enough to catch up to the Beastmen, unfortunately, but that's somewhat to be expected. Now, can she possibly get Amber Spear off on something? That she might be able to do, because that's a longer range spell. Unfortunately, I think Torox ended up leaving the battlefield over here. I wasn't able to kill him, but this will still count as me having defeated him. I'll still get the buff that that my lord will get from having defeated his army at least. So that's still good.
We grow restless. Smash them. Hunters. At one.
And you guys will go after them. These guys are almost gone. These guys are taking a hit.
Ready to serve.
I'm gonna have her move over here, just in case she can get another shot at those Uncle Raiders. More importantly, I did win the battle, which is the most important thing, because now his forces should be sufficiently weakened that if I'm able to then attack his forces next turn, I should be able to just destroy them outright. Alright, my Hawk Riders are starting to run out of ammunition, which is fine. Because mostly I'm just sending them out because of their speed.
The season of war!
Beautiful. Also, just because I only have so many like units that can chase these guys down, a lot of them are going to be able to run, but the overall damage that I'm going to be able to do to them is not insignificant.
Awaiting orders.
As far as how much exactly that ends up being up, we'll have to wait and find out, but... Alright, I'm gonna fast forward just to speed things up. At this point, I don't think any of the Hawk Riders that are out really far are gonna be able to catch up to the remaining member units that are running. Actually, you guys should be able to finish off those. Right? Yeah, they managed to get away. These guys won't. Alright. Then there's people in here. So I'm just gonna tell my whole army to advance on this one guy. But there we go. Alright. So we sustain 40 losses with a beginning force of 1337, the lucky number. And the enemy deployed 2,441 troops and have lost 1,679 of them in that battle. And all of those losses will be dedicated to you, Eden. Beef beyond imagining. Much beef indeed. And on top of that, I can do the abduct captives thing again, so because of that, my entire army will be at max strength. And look, Torx is right here, like a stone throw away. We can go and just beat. We'll beat up some more beef. Oh, well, that was going to be the thing that told me what the benefit was, but, Azrai wished to erect a new shrine within Athaloran. Give praise to gods they so faithfully serve. Yet the question is posed, to whom should this shrine be dedicated? The two frontrunners are Azurian or Cain, yet ultimately, the choice is yours. Do you wish to honor the Phoenix King Azurian, the wise and just ruler of the Elven Pantheon, or his brother Cain, harsh and ruthless god of battle? So, if I pick Azurian, for 10 turns, all my armies will receive minus 10% to their upkeep, so very nice. And all my buildings will have 10% income, so this is the one for making more money. Meanwhile, Cain, I'll get 25% more income from post-battle loot. All my recruits will have plus 2 levels to them, 2 ranks, and recruitment cost is minus 20%. However, I'm not planning on raising any new armies, so 2 of those benefits don't really help me. I'm gonna pick this. Alright, so let's see. Trait gain. Brass Bolt, Glassjaw.
Us with incomparable strength.
As it turns out, you don't always need an immovable object to stop an unstoppable force. By defeating Torox the Brass Bull in battle, we gain 15% charge bonus and 20 armor-piercing weapon damage, which is not bad.
The Sisters of Twilight.
Like, if we look at the Sisters now, their charge bonus is now 78. It was presumably probably something like... It was probably like 70, so that's a nice bonus, but... Especially getting that extra damage, that's very nice. And we also got a Hunting Hound, so chance of intercepting an army that's using the Underway, Beast Pass, or Road Routes has increased. But, we're not gonna just let Torox stick around. And we're just gonna auto-resolve this.
A regrettable necessity.
And with that, the Brass Bull is dead.
Harmony must be imposed.
And the Slaughterhorn tribe has been destroyed. So now we'll just go back into our own lands, and we have more skill points to dole out. Let's see. I'm going to put more points into this. So now all of our archer units will have 10% reload time reduction, and all of their missiles will do 12% more damage. And right now it's just our Glade Guard, but there are better units that we could get in the future, possibly. Meantime, I'm going to upgrade this, which will allow us access to the Waystalker hero and some Deepwood Scouts, which are the improved archer units I just alluded to. And then we have our Spellsinger, who we could give an Elven Steed, but I'm going to wait and see if we can get the Unicorn. I think. Yeah, because they'll get that in one more level. As you can see here, they're at level 9, and this is at level 10. Could wait for the Great Eagle, but I'd rather try and get them on a mount so that they have that speed. That'll bring them from 34 speed to 95, which is a significant increase. And then we'll also upgrade Flock of Doom and give Evasion, and that'll give us access to the next set of skills over here, which includes the Transformation of Kadan, which will basically summon a Great Eagle. So that'll give us another unit we can summon into battles. Now let's see, not much else to do this turn, unless Alethanar is welcome to...
Not this time.
Of course not. Why did I think you would accept that? So now, at this point, as you can see also, as the forest health increases, we get other benefits. So like, we're getting better diplomatic relations with the Dark Elves, our research rate is increasing, and the forest health is actually, in Athelloren, is increasing. If we manage to max it out, it will allow us to do the Ritual Rebirth, which will make it so that this forest will never have the forest will always be safe, basically. Then 20% diplomatic relations with Dark Elves, which is nice. 20% research rate, which is really nice. Increased global recruitment capacity, which is for recruiting units from any of our settlements across the globe instead of just whatever's local. And then Athelloren's forest health will increase, because if we go to Athelloren real quick, Oak of Ages, you can see that it's increasing by 3 at a time, but its max health is 500, so this takes a lot longer. Which is why there's other forests, the Gaian Vale, Lorelorn Forest, which is not showing up on that thing, but it's right here. The Griffinwood, the Forest of Gloom, and Orion's Camp, that all also can contribute to Athelloren's health, which is how we beat this campaign. Which actually makes me glad that I chose this, because that means we don't have to try and, like, conquer huge swaths of land to beat this game, and that's nice. Now then. Now we're going to go back to the Forge, and if we want to, we can, let's see. If we pick this, we can do this, upgrade the Dreaming Cloak to the Refined Dreaming Cloak, which will increase the upkeep reduction by 5%, and improve the Dreaming Cloak special ability, which will make it summon a unit of Deepwood Scouts instead of Glade Guard, which are just better archers. And it will give the unit stock, which means that they can move hidden in any terrain. This is also important because if you perfect it, in addition to stock, and in addition to then boosting the upkeep reduction by another 5%, and boosting the Dreaming Cloak's ability so that it will summon, I assume, Way Watchers, which are the best archer unit you can get. It also gives the unit holding the cloak snipe, which means that firing from range no longer reveals you when you're hidden, which is absurdly good.
Is impeccable.
Why grant Nestra tools of war?
But yeah, so we got that going for us, and now we will end here.
How I enjoyed that.
So to recap our ongoing progress, we've managed to ensure that all the heathlands around the Witchwood are no longer controlled by enemies. We have defeated Torox the Brass Bull and destroyed his faction.
Enemy of the forest.
In other words, you're dead.
The Dark Elves, noticing our power, seem to be a little more open to not being my enemy, which is nice. Well, who knows with the Dark Elves, that they may break that treaty down the line, but we've also made gains in trying to enhance our own forces. We have a full army ready to move. And I think our next move may be the move south, because I know that here in the Titan Peaks is the ancient city of Quintex, which is where the Cult of Pleasure is headquartered. And if we can just sort of off Marathi, that would be lovely. I'm going to move here, because for the sakes of being closer to Lethanar, I don't want to get on his land. I don't want to go on his land without permission, because that'll just make him angry. No.
Loic forbids
Oh.
us.
Eventually he will be willing.
Yours is a short span.
But in the meantime, right, what is his problem? He doesn't have a problem. That's annoying. Also,
Highborn.
if we can
This is Athelloren, home of the
do
Oak
this.
if you wish.
Alright. Yeah, get more treaties with other Wood Elves. That would be work. That works best for us.
Sons and daughters. It shall be done.
Lovely. Alright. Now then. Wrap things up.
Purity,
Carnage.
harmony.
I'm gonna try and send my army past... Actually, I don't think I can without going on his land, so never mind that. We're probably going to then sort of just roam around, maybe try and find some battles that we can do to increase the level of the Sisters of Twilight. But apart from that, we're probably going to... Well, I might call it now, and next time, I'm going to see if we can move our forces to one of the other forests and focus on trying to find a means of taking control of one of those. Because if we can, like, take control of some of the other forests, that would go a long way towards helping us in the long run. Like, maybe go to Lorelorn Forest, and then we can go fight the Warherd of the Shadow Gave up here and get rid of their Herdstone. Because, in case it wasn't entirely clear, the Beastmen are not friends of the Wood Elves. We hate them. So we're gonna pass this last turn,
blade is sharp. My spirit is strong.
see what the situation is at that point. Oh, and the Ripperhorn tribe has been destroyed. Awesome. I think that means that the only people I'm at war with right now is Rathian or Cult of Pleasure. And this research went through. So, I think I will call it here. So, I thank you all for coming.
Enjoy the respite, Arahan.
I hope you enjoyed watching our twins go and have fun playing with Dark Elves and Beastmen. Got a lot of beef in the last couple battles. But, until next time, I hope that you all have a good day, a good night, a good morning, or a good evening, whichever applies most to you, as the BGM starts up. And I will see you all next time.